Nobody who buys an electric car wants to get another one, per a survey. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? Who would have thought that no one wants to sit hours and wait for their vehicle to be charged? Who would have thought that no one wants to have their car basically just sitting around because the temperatures are too cold? Who would have thought that? I mean, who want to pay the exorbitant price for EVs? Who would have thought that? Nobody wants that. But we're going to talk a little bit about it. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from Outkick, Ian Miller, and he reports that the Biden administration, far-left politicians like Gavin Newsom and other international governments are trying desperately to force consumers to buy electric cars. There's just a few problems. People don't want to buy them, and those who have them don't want to buy another one. The lack of demand for EVs have pushed manufacturers to change their future production plans or abandon electric models entirely. Even car dealerships have turned to desperately begging the administration and other political entities to pull back on EV plans because of collapsing interest. But it's not just demand and lack of interest that's a problem for manufacturers and liberal politicians. According to a new survey from McKinsey, nearly half of EV owners have no intention of ever buying another one. So this is after they bought one, after they used it, and they're like, you know what, I'm done with this. I don't like it. This is bull crap. I'll never get another one. A full 46% of electric car owners in the United States said they were, quote, very likely to switch back to an internal, they said international. I think that's a so I did read that right. I think that's a typo. Internal combustion engine car. The survey, which covered more than 37,000 buyers globally, found that nearly 30% of buyers in Europe and 49% of those in Australia had buyer's remorse. Hate to tell you I told you so, but I told you so. Electric cars have plenty of problems, not a lot of fixes. Again, the technology is not really there yet. The same thing with solar and wind and other stuff that they try to, these globalists, these green Nazis is what I like to call them, try to push us to do. The technology is not there yet, but they still don't care about any of that. They're still going to push that on us. These survey results highlight the issue with trying to force consumers into a product. They don't always like it. Electric cars have their place, and Tesla has solved some of the charging issues by putting stations everywhere. But for non-Tesla EVs, the public charging experience can be miserable at best and inoperable at worst. It's not just charging either. Electric car batteries degrade rapidly depending on usage, meaning that the promised range often depletes within a few years. These batteries also don't work as well in extreme weather, especially in the cold. That's what I was just alluding to earlier, making EVs a difficult choice for those living in the Midwest or Northeast. Of course, the promised range also relies on having accessible charging stations that operate at peak performance most of the time. But given the realities of infrastructure availability and the dangers of running out of batteries, drivers are forced to charge miles before they empty and plan out trips, commutes, etc. That's not to say there aren't positives. There certainly are, but letting private industry figure out fixes, not delusional mandates, are the only acceptable answer. And I've been saying that since they started pushing these EVs. Is why can't we let the technology catch up with us first before you start trying to mandate this stuff? Instead, the Biden administration, as usual, wants to remove choice, all out of a futile hope to solve so-called climate change. Y'all know how I feel about that. I've done tons of videos on disproving climate change. But even though EVs can frequently be worse for the environment than gas cars, and this is something they don't tell you, the environmentalists don't tell you. Sounds right. Of course, they're not going to tell you that EVs are worse for the environment than gas-powered vehicles. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this survey. I wish this article went a little bit more into the survey, because I did read this. I read the survey myself yesterday. It's kind of weird that they don't really go into specifics on the survey. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.